Hey guys, welcome back. So now we're jumping back into Avengers Forever, where Jason Aaron is really just doing whatever he wants. But even still, with the various stories that we've been getting, and all the new variants that we've been introduced to from across the multiverse, I will say that this is a Black Panther story like none other. So let's get into it. But first, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to catch the spills every week, and don't forget to hit that bell up top so we can squat up in the comments for the first hour. Alright, so one of the things that we've seen so far in this series is the multiversal Masters of Evil making their rounds to different Earths, with each member making their claim and choosing an Earth for themselves. And so far, not only have we seen this as a team effort, but we've also seen how this looks when particular members of the Masters of Evil claim a world for themselves, like the Black Skull on Earth 818 after changing the future of that world by way of getting rid of the prehistoric Avengers. But aside from that, we've also seen members of the multiversal Masters of Evil execute their own agendas, much like what we were shown when we talked about the origin of the Doom Above All, with him assembling and joining this team only for the purpose of continuing to do what he was already doing before them. But at this point now, when we go over to King Killmonger, it's here we get a look into his personal agenda as far as traveling the multiverse with one specific target in mind. But in this case, unlike the Doom Above All who is seeking all of his own variants, King Killmonger has been scouring the multiverse on a mission to kill every variant of T'Challa, with no discretion to the age of T'Challa on any of these Earths. But this time around, with us seeing King Killmonger carry out this extravagant side mission, it's here in his case where we find that his actions have actually birthed a new hero. Because on this Earth, we're told that King T'Chaka had been warned by the ancestors about the coming of King Killmonger, and with him knowing this, he had made preparations to send his son T'Challa away from their Earth in order to keep him safe. And with seeing this, you can tell that Jason Aaron, he's not even trying to hide the whole Superman parallel here, because it's very clear as this world is being destroyed by King Killmonger, starting with Wakanda, that this T'Challa is very much being set on the path of Superman. And I mean, I'm cool with that, because Jason Aaron, he's gonna do what he wants to do. But I will say one thing, if they ever take this idea over to the What If show, I'm gonna need them to do a Wakandan version of the Smallville intro, because it only makes sense. But as we see baby T'Challa take off from his home planet as it's destroyed, it's here where Jason Aaron takes us forward a number of years later, and with doing so, he takes a bit of a sidestep from the Superman-esque type of story, for the moment at least, because it's here where we find that young T'Challa is living in the sky slums of Chandalar under the alias of the Sky Spider, with him donning a vibranium suit that he made out of the pieces of the rocket that brought him here. Which in this case, you can tell Jason Aaron was taking it from Superman to Spider-Man, but he still wanted to keep it a bit Superman at the same time. But trust me, it does not stop here. But nonetheless, T'Challa had been waiting some time for the War Panthers of King Killmonger to make their way to Shi'ar space, so that they can ultimately lead him to King Killmonger. But with the Sky Spider running into these War Panthers, and I know, it's ridiculous, but in this mix-up, he does not get them to tell him where King Killmonger is. But what he does notice while he's fighting them is that his ancestors begin to weep. And the reason why is because they believe that he's about to join them, because his mix-up with the War Panthers has actually gotten the attention of King Killmonger. And when he shows up, he doesn't bother to get out of his ship to confront T'Challa, but instead King Killmonger just hits the entire area with an open-face orbital cannon, which are complements of his modified Asgardian destroyer armor. But with doing this, King Killmonger believes that T'Challa, the Sky Spider, is dead, as if he had just cooked T'Challa from the comfort of his own ship. And speaking of cooking, I know you guys will get much better results with a little help from this video sponsor, HelloFresh. Because if you're looking for an easy way to eat well and save money, you can cut back on your expensive takeout and delivery by getting started with HelloFresh. Because HelloFresh offers over 35 weekly recipes that are crafted and curated by chefs to give you a wide range of options in case you want to watch your calories or go easy on the carbs. And regardless of where your goal may be, they help with giving options to customize your meals by swapping proteins or sides, or even adding proteins to meet your goals. But on the other hand, if you like to stock up on snacks, sides, or desserts, then you can do that as well at the HelloFresh Market by simply adding them to your weekly order, and they'll arrive at your doorstep with your meals. And for a limited time, you can hit the link down in the description and use my code POGHF98734 for a special discount plus free shipping. And in addition to enjoying your meal, you'll also be helping the channel. So use my code POGHF98734 so that you can get your discount while offers last, as well as free shipping from HelloFresh. But with King Killmonger blasting the sky slums of Chandalar, on his end he believes that he's killed T'Challa. But just after this we jump forward many tomorrows later, and we're not really told how many, but apparently it was enough tomorrows for T'Challa to switch up his look. But it's here where we find that not only is T'Challa still alive, but he's also upgraded his suit to where now, rather than him being a Spider-Man-like character, this new suit is more of an Iron Man type approach, with T'Challa making the suit out of Vibranium, which he's taken from war dogs across the Shi'ar system in order to build it. So rather than him being Iron Man, in this case he's Vibranium-Man. But for T'Challa, one of the things that we notice through the course of this is that he has an obsession with facing King Killmonger, and this is a fight that T'Challa has been looking forward to his whole life. So of course, with King Killmonger hitting him with the range attack last time and then dipping out, T'Challa wasn't too happy about it. But now with this upgraded suit, T'Challa hopes that he can take the fight to King Killmonger for a bout that is much more up close and personal. But for the time being, with T'Challa lacking the resources, he's really able to only go after King Killmonger by jumping from one ship to the next in the wake of King Killmonger's rampage within the Shi'ar system. And it's here with him doing this where we see him build up his suit more and more as he gets closer to King Killmonger. But also along the way, T'Challa is constantly reminded of the death caused by King Killmonger as he sees the Shi'ar casualties along the way. And for the weeks to come that it's going to take him to get to the main ship, from time to time, T'Challa will take rest with the dead before he moves forward. But eventually we find that T'Challa's made his way to one of the War Panther ships that's quickly running out of oxygen. And it's here where one of the War Panthers is just begging T'Challa to take the vibranium, take whatever he wants, but he begs T'Challa not to leave him here to die. And it's here where we get to know a bit more about this T'Challa's character, because with this War Panther begging T'Challa not to let him die here in this wrecked ship that is quickly running out of oxygen, it's here where T'Challa's like, okay, I won't let you die here. So instead, T'Challa just pulls this guy out into space where there is no oxygen, and the poor fella dies there. And I mean, I guess he should have been more specific with that request. But after weeks of jumping from one wrecked ship to the other, T'Challa eventually makes his way to King Killmonger's ship, and just before he enters the ship, he uses his Dora Milaje AI program, which is in the suit, to first scan the ship to make sure that King Killmonger's there, to where then he runs a final diagnostic to make sure that his suit's ready. Because I mean, you don't just want to jump in there on a low battery. But it's here where T'Challa breaks into King Killmonger's ship, where we get our first look at the completed Vibranium-Man suit, and as soon as he gets there, it's on sight. But for King Killmonger, initially, instead of clapping back with his modified destroyer armor, he immediately claps back with the jokes. And I mean, it starts off with the suit with him saying that it looks like it was made in a junkyard, only for T'Challa then to respond that he made this in a grave. But you can tell with how it was done, like it feels like it was a bit of a setup for it to be like Prince T'Challa built this suit in a grave with a bunch of scraps. And with how it was done, it didn't quite stick the landing, but even still, like, you can see the loose reference. But through the course of this fight, King Killmonger is making fun of T'Challa, not only for his suit, but also for going through so many identity changes. One minute he's Spider-Man, next minute he's Iron Man. And King Killmonger even goes as far as to tell T'Challa that he's not even a good version of any of these, to where from there he goes on to tell T'Challa that the suit that he has is built off of the scraps of King Killmonger's table, which really is just a way of him implying that there's no way that T'Challa's suit can hold up to Killmonger's modified destroyer armor. And I mean, with King Killmonger saying this, he's not wrong, but T'Challa does make sure to tell him that his suit flows with the blood and spirit of all of Wakanda, and it will not fall. Wakanda forever. But then again, T'Challa's not doing too well in this fight, because suit to suit, King Killmonger has him beat, and for T'Challa, in spite of all that he's doing here, he can barely hang. And with King Killmonger knowing that he's about to end this, he tells T'Challa to do him a favor, and he says, make sure on the next Earth that I go to that you're a bit more original. And just after saying that, he then tosses T'Challa out of the ship and into a nearby star, while saying, Wakanda nevermore. And it's kind of like, man, you gonna say that just after he said Wakanda forever? He on demon time. But just after this, 3 days later, we find that Robbie Reyes has made his way here with the Tony Stark of Earth 818, as well as the Deathlock from Infinity's End. but they've made their way here because Earth 818 Tony Stark has told him that he has a lock on the location of the surviving T'Challa of this universe. And with them saying this, of course, Deathlock, he's a bit skeptical because the only thing at this location is a star. But then Robbie's like, that's no problem, I can drive through stars. And so it's here where they drive through this star and they drag out this vibranium cocoon, where we come to find out that this whole time, with us seeing the T'Challa from this universe go through all of these changes, that they were really just the steps necessary in order to transform him into who he truly is, which, as it turns out, is the Star Panther, the last son of Wakanda and the man who will kill King Killmonger. And so now, real quick, I'm gonna give a special shout out to all the patrons. Thank you guys for all of your support. And for anyone who's new here who wants more information on how to support the channel, I got a link below where you can go to patreon.com/Dopespill. But that'll do it for this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and we'll do it again on the next one. Alright, later.